All that clattering must get really tiring after a while. All that clattering must get really tiring after a while. Tea. All that clattering must get really tiring after a while. All that clattering must get really tiring after a while.
My heart. I need my medication. Quickly.
A prototype for the clinic aviary?
Make yourself right at home. Don't mind me. I just own the place.
Who would store medication in this mess? Still nothing. Who would store medication in this mess? An old press clipping. Who would store medication in this mess? Kirk's prosthesis, but it looks like it isn't finished. Still nothing. Fantastic! 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 All that I have left of dear Oscar. All that I have left of dear Oscar. Who would store medication in this mess? A prototype for the clinic aviary? A prototype for the clinic aviary? Empty. Empty. There's no point. No medication in sight. Nothing that could help him. Nothing that could help him. That could do him more harm than good. No medication in sight. Nothing that could help him. No way. No medication. That could do him more harm than good. A prescription. No medication.
Thank you for your precious help, my dearest Miss Walker. I'm afraid I may have judged you somewhat hastily.
Don't mention it, Mr. Steiner. Tell me about the prosthesis. I need to take it back to Kirk very quickly, if, of course, you agree to let me have it.
Yeah. I just have a few small adjustments to make. It involves very precise and meticulous mechanics, understand?
Will it take long? I'm sorry to insist, but I also have to give a hand to those unfortunate Yukels. I need to help them get across the lake with their herd of ostriches. I'm so worried about them.
Once the mechanical leg is at last ready, I can go to the clinic and bring back young Kirk to you. That way you only have to worry about what happens to the other Yukels. Well?
That's so nice of you, Mr. Steiner. But why are you doing this?
I wasn't extremely nice to you earlier. And also the way the Yukels are treated by the other townsfolk here, in my own town, disgusts me. So I want to help those poor devils, even if I am in no way absolutely certain they should be crossing the lake.
What on earth's the matter, Mr. Steiner?
The next stage of your journey is the poor cursed town of Baranor. It has become hell on earth since the time of the last great ostrich migration.
Please join me downstairs for a moment, Miss Walker. I'll show you exactly what I mean.
Tools that would have suited Hans. Kirk's prosthesis, but it looks like it isn't finished.
Look just next to the films there, Miss Walker. You should find a film on Baranor. When you found the old film reel, run it through the spool on the projector.
I turned on the projector for you. Find the film reel and run it through the machine, if you may.
Baranor, the martyred town. Baranor has been nothing but a field of ruins and desolation since a week after the explosion of reactor number 3 in the nuclear power plant. Baltimore is on the other side of the lake, sheltered from the prevailing winds, and fortunately it seems to have been spared from the deadly radioactive clouds. Our town was mobilized to go to the aid of our neighbors. Although our town's means were modest when compared to such catastrophes, there were nonetheless among us some brilliant mechanical engineers. In record time, they developed a small army of automatons capable of helping the affected people. Those men and dogs of steel could go where a human could no longer set foot without becoming seriously ill. Over there, they could be excavators, rescue workers, and treasure bearers.
Oscar! They all look like him.
Truly magnificent pieces, Nishtvar. The XZ-2000 model is most assuredly one of Hans's major masterpieces.
Their mission was to bring back any survivors of the catastrophe to Baltimore, where the victims would receive the best care in Dr. Zemyatine's clinic. The Crystal, the ferry usually responsible for linking the towns of Baltimore and Baranor every day, carried the new type of rescuers to the scene of the drama, and brought back the survivors of the catastrophe.
So Baranor suffered the ravages of a nuclear accident. But according to that film, the automatons you designed with Hans should have helped save lots of lives, right?
I'm afraid that's not how things went. Because of Captain Obo, who... Ah, that must be Sarah. Please come this way, Miss Walker. I'll introduce you.
fantastic. Kirk's prosthesis, but it looks like it isn't finished. Tools that would have suited Hans.
Miss Walker, may I introduce you to Sarah, my granddaughter?
We've actually already met. Haven't we, Sarah?
I actually owe Miss Walker a candle. Thanks to her calmness and peace of mind, I'm still here and on my feet. She found my medication and gave it to me before it was too late. Donnerwetter.
You don't mean you had another attack, do you? Ah, you're being so very naughty, Grandfather. You absolutely must let Dr. Zamiatine examine you.
Come on, stay calm, my little child. When I go to the clinic to take the prosthesis to the young Yukol, I'll stop by and see the good doctor. Until then, why don't you make yourself really useful to Miss Walker? She's looking for some way to transport the Yukol caravan to the other side of the lake.
Well, I think I've already found the solution. The boat in the film, the Crystal, it must be the ship that's docked in the port. If it was able to transport the automatons you and Hans built, it could carry the ostriches across the lake.
Ah, that's not a bad idea. But unfortunately, there's a slight problem of size, dear Miss Walker.
What on earth do you mean?
Obo became a poor wreck when he simply abandoned our automatons in Baranor. The coward now drowns his sorrows in vodka. He's convinced that he fled because of the monster in the lake. Heh! Apparently the imbecile saw the monster, Himmelgott. So he went back on his tracks, abandoning all the automatons in Baranor as well as the people they were there to rescue.
Grandfather, I know you're still really angry with Captain Obo because he abandoned the automatons that you built with your friend Hans in Baranor. He was supposed to wait for them. They were going to take all the survivors they found in the rubble to the boat and then bring everyone here to safety in Valsambor. But in the end, when he got to the beach at Baranor and saw the disaster and all the dead, he became really afraid. The disease, the radiation, he must have had an uncontrollable panic attack, so he immediately turned back, dumped the machines on the Crystal into the lake, and came back empty-handed to Valsambor. And the automatons have been there ever since, in hell. But who knows? Maybe today he'll want to sell. I'm sure Kate will be capable of convincing him to help the Yukols. I have to go do my waitressing shift in the tavern. Come by and see me later on, okay? Captain Obo will be there.
All right, then. I'll try and convince Captain Obo. Thank you for everything, Mr. Steiner.
I don't know if I really should wish you good luck, dear Miss Walker. Baranor is only an open grave now.
A prototype for the clinic aviary? "11 hours time difference. Like for New York. 11 hours time difference. Like for New York.
No Yukos in Valsambor! The shopkeepers can't take it anymore! The shopkeepers are on strike!
Shopkeepers have had enough!
Thieving Yukos in Valsambor! The shopkeepers want them out the door! Thieving Yukos in Valsambor! The shopkeepers want them out the door! Close the Nomad Souk! Throw them all out or we'll stay on strike!
There've been 10 thefts from my shop since those savages showed up! Mr. Mayor, who's gonna pay?
Come outside! Show yourself, Mr. Mayor!
Yeah, come outside now or we'll throw you out in the next elections! Mayor Buyaki!
Thieving Yukos in Valsambor! The shopkeepers want them out the door! Thieving Yukos in Valsambor! The shopkeepers want them out the door!
We're not leaving until you come outside to talk, Mr. Mayor!
If you were only here to see this, Oscar.
The shopkeepers are on strike for the first time in ages. That's not good business for anyone, if you want my opinion.
Mayor Boya King hasn't been up to handling the situation since the catastrophe. I've said it for years.
The shopkeepers are on strike for the first time in ages. That's not good business for anyone, if you want my opinion.
Mayor Boya King hasn't been up to handling the situation since the catastrophe. I've said it for years.
Excuse me. What's happening here?
Isn't it obvious? We're demonstrating against having the Yukon nomads parked on our doorsteps.
But what for?
Since they came to Valsambor, there's been no end to the shoplifting and vandalism, and on top of that, their souk is taking our customers. Mayor Bulyakin has to do something, and fast. We're not leaving until he receives our delegation.
But why won't the mayor talk to you?
Because he's a schmuck. He wants the nomads to continue their migration as much as us, but he's too afraid of annoying his higher-ups. And while he's gaining time by playing both sides of the board, we're watching our sales go through the floor.
The authorities are asking the mayor to prevent the migration from continuing? They want the Yukos to stay blocked in Valsambor?
That's what people are saying, but if you want my opinion, the only thing the mayor is waiting for is someone to get rid of those savages without him having to get his hands dirty. The nomad souk doesn't have any real hygiene standards whatsoever. Mayor Bulyakin is completely gutless. I got nothing against the nomads. I just don't like them hanging around my place, that's all. If you wish to make a deductible contribution to the Valsambor Shopkeeper Solidarity Fund, step right up. Go find someone else to bother. The nomad souk doesn't have any real hygiene standards whatsoever. If you wish to make a deductible contribution to the Valsambor Shopkeeper Solidarity Fund, step right up.
People are getting more and more excited here. It'll be a riot if it goes on. Worst of all, I know where they're coming from. You can't put up with the nomads forever. People are getting more and more excited here. It'll be a riot if it goes on. Worst of all, I know where they're coming from. You can't put up with the nomads forever.
Looking for cigars or some hooch? I'm even cheaper than the nomads. Don't go asking where it all comes from, of course. Looking for cigars or some hooch? I'm even cheaper than the nomads.
The way they treat the nomads around here is terrible. I hope they don't end up throwing them in the lake, poor Yukuls.
Everyone's been surly the last few months.
Living here is unbearable sometimes of late.
Everyone's been surly the last few months.
The way they treat the nomads around here is terrible.
Lost your way, pretty girl?
Go speak with young Sarah. She could help you. Captain Obo's got it real bad today. Poor old bastard. If only you'd shown up 20 years ago. When the fishing port was open and thriving. Back then, the trawlers went out all day and brought back loads of fish and shellfish. My specialty was squid a la Valsambor. You sure you don't want a nice bowl of borscht? Go speak with young Sarah. She could help you.
The captain is just there, next to the fireplace. Try to take it easy with the captain, Kate. He isn't having a great day. The captain is just there, next to the fireplace.
Captain Obo?
What do you want?
May I sit down for a second?
Go ahead.
Well, I'm sorry to impose, but I actually really...
You know, you kind of remind me of someone. The wife of the quartermaster that served on board the Crystal after the war. Do you realize he got married to the first cousin of the wife of a machinist?
Oh, okay. That's all really interesting, but what I wanted to ask...
That's a really great story, really. Because, did you know? So there. So the guy answers, I don't know nothing, Captain. Turns out he was hiding in the broom closet. Hilarious. Irina, the wife of the quartermaster, her name was Irina Malevna. Crazy how much you look like her.
Oh, gee, it's getting late. I have to go. You can finish telling me the story another time, Captain Obo.
The lake is haunted by a demon. It's watching me. Waiting. I can feel it. The crystal took across more travelers ever than any other ferry from Valsambor. The monster is lurking at the bottom of the lake. That's where it sees what's happening on the surface with those red eyes. I know I should try not to drink so much. Everybody tells me, Obo, alcohol isn't going to help you sort yourself out at all. The lake is haunted by a demon. It's watching me. Waiting. I can feel it. The crystal took across more travelers ever than any other ferry from Valsambor. The monster is lurking at the bottom of the lake. That's where it sees what's happening on the surface with those red eyes.
Is everything okay, Kate?
Not really. I'd like to ask Captain Obo if the Yukon caravan can go on board his boat to cross over to Baranor. But I can't get a straight answer. He's completely sloshed.
I'm sorry, miss, but I really think you're wasting your time. He's getting drunk again to forget his crimes, like he always does. To forget he wasn't brave the way a captain should be. Can you believe it? In Baranor, he just picked up and abandoned his passengers. And I know, he'll never want to see that cursed place again.
I'm not sure that's true, lad. Even if he does drink a lot, the captain's a pretty good guy. Say the right thing, and you may be able to convince him.
If I'm ever lucky enough to find him sober, even for a moment, I need that drunkard to listen to me.
Maybe I can help you with that. I'll make him one of my famous small restoratives. After that, he'll want to sleep for 3 days, but at least his mind will be clear. What do you think of that, then, miss?
You know the captain better than I do. What can you tell me that will help me to convince him?
One thing's for sure, he definitely hates himself for abandoning all those people to their fate over there in Baranor. All of those men, women, and children that Grandfather's army of automatons was going to rescue and bring back on board the Crystal. He has the impression nobody here will ever forgive him, and to be perfectly honest, he's not far wrong. Plus, he's also racked with guilt. So in my opinion, avoid criticizing him.
Has Captain Obo taken the crystal out of port since leaving Baranor?
He's been far too drunk ever since then for that.
And anyway, the port's been closed since the tragedy of Baranor 20 years ago.
Do you think the crystal is still in sailing condition after all this time?
I'm sure there'll be a few repairs to do, but Obo never stopped keeping it in shape, you know. He loves his boat, despite everything.
Do you know why Captain Obo fled Baranor?
He must have been completely traumatized by what he saw there. The catastrophe, the victims, and then the radiation. He unloaded the automatons on the beach, but he didn't expect they'd bring the survivors back right then. He just cracked, completely snapped. Full astern and goodbye all. Can you even imagine?
Afterwards, he came up with that story of a sea monster appearing and attacking his boat.
Yes, the old legend of the monster of the lake. Convenient, isn't it?
Who knows what became of the victims and automatons the captain abandoned?
No, everybody hates the captain for that. But nobody volunteered to take the helm of the Crystal in his place to pick up the survivors. If there are any left in Baranor. Are all dead now, that's for sure.
Grandfather says that the automatons would have broken down really quickly with nobody to maintain them.
Go see the captain. Sarah will bring you the restorative when it's ready.
Take this, Captain. This one's on the house.
My God! This pisswater unbattens the hatches, swabs the deck, and opens the portholes. Hello, Miss...
My name is Kate Walker, Captain Obo. We met each other earlier.
To what do I owe the honor of your presence at the table of the regrettably famous Captain Obo? I'm listening, miss.
I'd like to have a serious talk, Captain. You must listen.
Oh, if it's just to stand there and take shots at me, you can be on your way, miss. Go take the high ground with someone else. So what? Nothing more to add, then?
What I'd like you to do is to help me, Captain. I could even say you're the man of the hour.
What do you mean by that, young lady?
The Yukon caravan has to cross the lake now. It absolutely must continue on its migration, do you understand? So I thought that maybe they could board the crystal. That way you could take everybody there, to the other side, Captain. I know you don't have fond memories of your last crossing, of your departure from Baranor, but...
Why the hell are you bothering me if everybody has already warned you about horrible Captain Obo? The gutless wonder.
You're right, Captain. It's safe to say that people don't have a particularly high opinion of you. But I think you're afraid to know where I want to take the Yukals.
Oh, listen to her. All right, then. Tell me where Miss Walker actually wants me to take her in my old tub.
To Baranor.
I'm a broken man because of what I saw back there that night, miss. A sad wreck of a man, really. And you're asking me to go back. Back there. Back to hell. I saw the hellish red eyes of the monster of the lake. Beast as big and long as my boat. Ask your Yukon friends what they think about it. They call it the Kilak, the evil spirit of the lake. The devil guarding the doorway to hell.
Well, let's just look at it like a second chance. What do you say?
No. Never.
In that case, I'll buy the crystal.
What makes you think she's up for sale?
You've left her in the port to rot. She's completely run down. You haven't the money to keep her shipshape. I have money, and I need that ferry.
She's a ferry, not a liner. And the girl wants to take the helm of the crystal. Now I've heard everything.
I know that if the proud crystal had an equally proud commander at her helm, things would go better. But as you don't want to go on a voyage...
No, believe me, miss. I wouldn't really be doing you any favors by helping you.
Captain, please.
I'm sorry, but it's no.
Listen, Kate. Don't go giving up just yet. I'm pretty sure the captain can still be convinced.
He seemed pretty categorical, I'm afraid.
There must be some way. Go explore his boat. The crystal has always been like a home to him. Who knows? You may find something there that'll make him change his mind.
Why not? I'll give it a try. Thank you, Sarah.
Don't push it. I'd only bring you the worst of luck if I helped you. Now leave me the hell alone! Don't push it. I'd only bring you the worst of luck if I helped you.
Go and talk to Captain Obo. I'll bring you his restorative. Try not to be too hard on the captain, Kate. Go and talk to Captain Obo. I'll bring you his restorative.
I'd really suggest you steer well clear of Captain Obo, miss. He's always basically drunk as a skunk.
Don't get disheartened, Kate. I'm sure you can find a way to change the captain's mind. You sure you didn't find or see anything at all that might be of some help to you? Did you try looking in the crystal? Don't get disheartened, Kate. I'm sure you can find a way to change the captain's mind.
Now leave me the hell alone!
It's been hard to sell our produce since the port closed. And now those nomads show up and undercut us.
What exactly happened in Marinor?
An accident in reactor number 3. Negligence. Faulty maintenance. What do I know? Anyway, one spark was all it took, and then total chaos. The rare survivors were brought back here to the Valsambor Clinic.
So you and Hans decided to build an army of automatons to help all the people who were left behind still stuck in the rubble in Baranor.
Yeah. Hans thought that helping the town that had opened its arms to his amusement park was a duty. And we would have managed to do it in the end, too. If only that coward Obo hadn't left our automatons to rust because of his so-called lake monster. The evil monster of the lake. Stories to scare small children with, Miss Walker. Not an excuse for cowardice. Mein Gott.
Are you still angry at Captain Obo for abandoning your automatons?
Yeah. Hans and I put an awful lot of energy into making them all, you know. We thought of everything.
How so?
Our automatons were designed to tirelessly go through all the rubble, piece by piece, in search of survivors. Administer first aid, and then take them back to the beach so that they could be safely embarked on the crystal. But because of Obo, none of that ever happened.
How did you meet Hans Wahlberg?
I met dear Hans when he had just arrived here in Valsambor, 20 years ago.
What was he doing in the region?
Oh, he didn't seem to have any particular reason. Always traveling. He stopped off here and there, then left again when the feeling came.
Thank you for your help.
You take care of finding a way for the ostriches to cross the lake, Miss Walker. I'll finish the prosthesis and take it to Kirk.
I need to concentrate if I'm going to finish this prosthesis, dear Miss Walker.
Sarah is a brave girl. I owe her much indeed. That damned Dr. Zamiatin will be absolutely furious when I tell him about the attack I just had. You take care of finding a way for the ostriches to cross the lake, Miss Walker. I'll finish the prosthesis and take it to Kirk.
Don't get disheartened, Kate. I'm sure you can find a way to change the captain's mind. You sure you didn't find or see anything at all that might be of some help to you? Did you try looking in the crystal? Don't get disheartened, Kate. I'm sure you can find a way to change the captain's mind. You sure you didn't find or see anything at all that might be of some help to you? Did you try looking in the crystal?
Don't push it. I'd only bring you the worst of luck if I helped you.
Mi sera